Okay, good afternoon, student. Now see the third lesson in celebration of being alive, written by Dr. Christian Bernan. Okay, now see the lesson. More and more, as I near the end of my career, as a heart surgeon, my thoughts have turned to the consideration of why people should suffer. Suffering seems so cruelly prevalent in the world today. Do you know that of the 125 million children born this year, 12 millions are unlikely to reach the age of 1, and another 6 million will die before the age of 5. And of the rest, many will end up as mental or physical cripples. Okay, see here. In celebration of being alive, Dr. Christian Bernan, this is the this lesson is taken from Christian Bernan's speech in a part. Celebration of being alive, it means we want to celebrate because we are still alive. Happy or sad is not a matter, but we are alive. So we want to celebrate because of we are alive. We are alive. Okay, now see, more and more as I near the end of my career as a heart surgeon, my thoughts have turned to the consideration of why people should suffer. Suffering seems to be real prevalent in the world today. It means more and more is nothing, repeatedly, increasingly, this is the meaning. Repeatedly, the author thought that why people were suffered. This thought repeated in the author's mind. He is one of the heart surgeon, and in this world, difficulties is very unkind for commonly. It means all the people, not for everyone separately. Prevalent is nothing, common. Consideration is nothing, careful thought. Okay. Do you know that of the 125 million children born this year, 12 millions are unlikely to reach the age of 1, and another 6 million will die before the age of 5, and of the rest, many will end up as mental or physical cripples. Okay, see, each of the year 125 million children were born, not for for year 125 million children were born. 1 million is equal to 10 lakhs children. It means you can calculate how many lakhs children were born each year. Out of 125 million children, 12 million children were died before the age of 1 year, and another 6 million were died before the age of 5 years, and rest of the people, many of them, not all, many of them suffered mentally or physically. So this thought repeated in the author's mind. This is the first point. Okay, here the author given like point wise. So in the first point, author say like that. Okay, see the second one. My gloomy thoughts probably stem from an accident I had a few years ago. One minute I was crossing the street with my wife after a lovely meal together, and the next minute a car had hit me and knocked me into my wife. She was thrown into the other lane and struck by a car coming from the opposite direction. Okay, see what here thought the Christian Bernan means. The author said that said thoughts is appeared maybe when he met an accident in few years ago. Likewise, he thinks himself. Now he described the accident while the author and his wife had a meal and tried to crossing the street. At that moment, a car hit the author and knocked his wife, thrown into the other layer. Layer is nothing, lane, other way. A car coming from opposite direction. Okay, next see the third one. During the next few days in the hospital, I experienced not only agony. Agony is nothing, sadness giving much of pain here, and fear, but also anger. I could not understand, and I could not understand, and I had to suffer. My lungs also damaged, and also my wife shoulder also got fractured. That time he asked himself, why should happen this to us likewise? And also he want to work. Work means his duty so much. He had so many of works that patients were waiting for her treatment or her his treatment because he is a doctor, no? So he the patients also waiting for his treatment. And my wife also want to take, my wife refers to the author's wife. Author's wife also wants to take care for a young baby. So why it happened to her like that? He likewise he thought himself. Okay, see the fourth one. My father, had he still been alive, would have said, my son, it's God's will. That's the way God tests you. Suffering enables you, makes you a better person. Here, in case the author's father had been alive, still alive, he would definitely say everything is fate because God gives suffering to make a better person and a fulfilled person. Like we definitely his father will told. Okay, see that next point for fifth point. But as a doctor, I see nothing noble in a patient's thrashing around. Thrashing around is nothing, cannot be moved here and there. In a sweat soaked bed, mind clouded in agony, nor can I see any nobility in the crying of a lonely child in a ward at night. So here see, as a doctor, he said it is not a better for a person because while he was in the hospital he can't able to move in a place, he feels so much of agony, it means sad feelings, but this is not a good way to rest a person like we the author told. Okay, see the sixth one. In those days, they did not have sophisticated heart surgery. I have always found the suffering of children particularly heartbreaking, especially because of their total trust in doctors and nurses. They believe you are going to help them. If you can't, they accept their fate. They go through the mutilating surgery. Mutilating is nothing to help the other spot to other person to get some surgery and to the own person, but this not happen in the olden days. And afterwards they did not complain. Okay, see that paragraph. Through this paragraph, what the author told means, in olden days there is not a well advanced heart surgeon doctors, but at that time the patient were believed only doctors and nurse. In case the doctor or nurse not able to cure their problem means they think that is fate and agree that decision, so they won't complain to anyone and they won't mutilating surgery. It means replace any parts to other persons. Okay, see next. One morning several years ago, I witnessed what I call the Grand Prix of Cape Town's Red Cross. The Cape Town's is not, Red Cross is the hospital name of the children's hospital. It was located in Cape Town. It opened my eyes to the fact that I was missing something in my life, thinking about suffering. Something basic that was full of solace for me. Okay, see the seventh one. Now he told an incident. It was happened several years ago. He is the witness to that incident. He called the incident Grand Prix. Grand Prix, it means car race. It was happened in the Cape Town in the Red Cross Hospital. That incident opens the author's eye. In this incident, given him a relief from his suffering, because already author thought why it was happened for herself like himself like that, he thought no. So now he realized. Okay, see the eighth one. What happened that morning was that a nurse had left a breakfast trolley unattended. Breakfast trolley is nothing. See the picture, student. This is a breakfast trolley. Okay, unattended, and every soon this trolley was commanded by an intrepid crew of two. Intrepid is nothing, bold and courage persons, to a driver and a mechanic. The mechanic provided a motor power by galloping along beyond the trolley with his head down, while the driver seated on the mover deck and on with one hand and stirred by the scraping his foot on the floor. The choice of the role was easy because the mechanic was totally blind and the driver had only one arm. Okay, see here. One nurse had stopped a trolley in a center block of the hospital. At the time, the nurse went away. Suddenly, the trolley was driven by two children. One is driver and a mechanic. The mechanic is pushing the trolley and the driver is seated on the deck. Deck means is nothing, in the steering place. Okay. It means steering. The driver had one hand and the mechanic who seated in the deck, he is blind. The mechanic is a blind and the driver is a only one hand. So the selection of the role is after to them. It was watching by the author in the hospital. Okay, see the ninth one. They put on quite a show that day, judging by the laughter and shouts of encouragement from the rest of the patient. It was a much better entertainment than anything anyone puts on at the Indian Police 500 car race. It is nothing. It is a big famous car race. There was a grand finale. Finale is nothing. Final of scattered plates and silverware before the nurse and ward sister caught up with them, scolded them and put them back to bed. Okay, see next. This was a quite show to watch because all the patient and the author were watching and laughing because it was like it was one of the big car race, the Indianapolis car race, 500 car race. At that time, the plates and silverware, everything was fell down and scattered over the floor. And the nurse caught them and scolded the two boys. It seems like a grand finale because the play was watching a very engage to give entertainment to everyone. That much of enjoyment in that race. So everyone enjoyed this race.